Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to the Thursday, February 23rd, 2023 Public Works meeting. Very snowy morning for us today. First thing we've got is roll call, and with us I have Council Member Althauser and Council Member Schneider and myself, Council Member Swarthout. Let's see, we'll have some minutes to approve. So do I have a motion to approve the January 5th, 2023 and the January, oh, do we have to do them separately? Or we do them together? Always forget. Let's do the January 5th meeting.
I think you could do them as one motion to approve them.
Can we?
All.
Okay. January 19th, and let's do both meetings then, January 5th, 2023 and January 19th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, second. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay, let's jump into our agenda this morning, and we are going to hear from Dan Smith, and with a very long thing, and I can't say this fish passage. That's just, it's too hard to say. So
Good morning, Council. Good morning, Council. This is a third amendment for this project, and I'm just going to turn it over to Meredith Greer to kind of walk you through what this amendment looks for a project that you're pretty much well versed on already. So, Meredith, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Dan. Yes, apologies again for the very long namedness of all of these projects, and having amendments and stuff like that just makes the title even longer. I'm here today to present kind of an update since I've last brought this project forward to you all, a little bit of the reasoning why we're going through an amendment number 3, and really an exciting update on the timeline and this project moving forward. So a little bit of project background. We're talking about the Sap Road Culvert here in kind of northwest Tumwater. Ultimately, this is one of 7 full fish passage barriers within the watershed, Deschutes RIA 13. It's been identified as a huge priority for the local RIA group to get fixed by 2032. So being able to do this project is really exciting. Right now, it's blocking about 1/3 of Percival Creek from fish being able to access it due to the slope within the culvert. This is one of 10 main stem barriers on Percival Creek, and it's the only full one. So it's really exciting that we're able to do this work and to get this one fixed. Right now, the culvert looks a little bit like this. It is blocking what's considered a pretty significant reach for a number of different salmonid species within the watershed, including chum, chinook, coho, steelhead, sea run cutthroat, and residential trout. Our plan is to put in a 19-foot 4-sided box culvert. We're going to do about 135 feet of stream regrade. Ultimately, the idea is we're trying to let the stream move more naturally, the way it normally would when it's not being kind of scrunched down into a culvert that's too small for it to properly pass through. And we're also installing some large woody material down in what's considered the Sap Road Park that will allow us to provide some habitat, will help slow some water down as it's coming through the culvert, and ultimately is a really great option that we like including in a lot of these fish passage projects. So not only is this a fish-related project, but this is also a transportation improvement project. So as you probably know, driving through that Sap Road area, the road is pretty darn narrow. There's no sidewalks or anything like that, but it is used fairly frequently by folks walking to and from different neighborhoods in the area. So as part of this project, we're increasing the size of the travel lanes to the standard. We're also adding bike lanes and sidewalks on both sides of the road. That will allow this project to really be an asset for fish, but also for the community in this area. The reason that we're bringing forward this third amendment is that we've got new construction funding and a new kind of path forward for this project. So originally, we were looking for construction funding, about $1.5 million, from a funding source that's really specific to salmon. So their focus is on fish passage and things like that, and they would only fund parts of the project that were directly related to fish passage. That left the other half of the parts that were improving the sidewalks and the bike lanes, needing another funding source. This is something that we were planning on moving forward with. We found out in December that we were one of about 6 projects within the state that qualified for PROTECT funding. Now, PROTECT is coming out of the new bipartisan infrastructure bill through WSDOT. It stands for, and the acronym is a little bit suspect in how they quite get Protect out of it, but it stands for Promoting Resilient Operations for Transformative, Effective, and Cost-Saving Transportation, which is a big mouthful, but ultimately this new funding source allows us to combine both the fish and the transportation aspects into one project, which is really exciting since it's coming through WashDOT. So we've been awarded $2.1 million to complete this project. Now, because this is a new funding source, there are a couple new requirements that we're having to meet. All of these requirements have to be met by June of this year in order for us to receive that money. These requirements include having the project be at shovel ready. I'll come back to that one. It also requires us to apply for a National Environmental Policy Act permit. We've got that application off right now. We need to have the right-of-way through this area certified to WashDOT standards. We've just got TR right-of-way services under contract with us to help with this work. And the project needs to be added to the State Transportation Improvement Program, or the STIP. Mary Heather and I will be bringing forward this project to the March 7th City Council meeting for a public hearing to add the project to Tumwater's Transportation Improvement Plan. So we'll be back in about a month, or I guess 2 weeks or so, to talk a little bit more about this process. And Mary Heather can share more about what that means from a transportation perspective, but ultimately it allows us to put this project on a list, and that's how WashDOT funds projects. So back to that kind of first requirement to have a shovel-ready project. That's why we're bringing forward this third amendment from PBS. So this third amendment would help take the project to 100% PS&E and help us get ready to bid the project. The ultimate goal is that we're able to show that by June of this year, the project is 100% ready to go. We're just waiting on being able to get a contractor under contract to construct the project. So we're adding about $27,000 to the current PBS contract, bringing the total design budget to about $250,000 for this work. And we have some grant funding to help with this design work. We have about $80,000 from the Salmon Recovery Funding Board. But while this project is a little bit heavy in the design amount of money that we're having to spend, the really cool thing about this WashDOT Protect funding is there isn't any match requirement for the city of Tumwater to help pay for. So that's been really exciting. A lot of the grant funding that we do end up getting requires a 25% or a 15% match. This WashDOT funding is allowing WashDOT to provide toll credits as local match, which means that the project sponsors, the city of Tumwater in this case, isn't required to provide any construction funding. So that's really exciting that for a project that's about $2.4 million in total, the city of Tumwater is only having to spend about $250,000 or so of that money. The rest of it is coming from grant funding. A little bit of an updated timeline, and every time I bring this to you, the timeline gets shorter and shorter because we're checking off deliverables as we go. We're planning on having the 100% designs completed by May 2023. We'd then be able to bid the project in October, and we're constructing in the summer of next year, which is really, really exciting. With that, I'll open it up to any questions.
Okay, do we have questions for Meredith? So shovel ready it just means we have our plans in place for that June deadline, because that's just like a few months away.
Yes, it pretty much means that we don't have any more design work that we'll need to do. That the project is done and it's ready for someone to take it and construct it. We're not constructing it in this summer window just because that's a pretty quick turnaround time for us to find a contractor who's got time in their schedule to be able to do a project this big. That's why we're waiting for the next year and hoping to go out to bid before everybody gets really full, as the summer is a really big time for a lot of contractors around Tumwater.
It's gonna be a big project, but very neat. So, well, good. This is wonderful. I can't believe all the different funding sources that you found and how much you saved the city, and that we're looking at 250,000. That's amazing. So thank you, team, for finding this funding for us and working so hard on this project. So amazing. All right. Well, thank you again. Does anybody have any questions for Meredith? All right, we'll go ahead and jump on to the next item is the I-5 Trusper Road, Capitol Boulevard Reconfiguration Project, construction road closures. And I think we have, who's on that one? So,
Hey, Chair Sourceworth, I think we need a motion and a vote on that last one. Yeah, no worries, thank you.
Sorry, geez. I'm not looking at my little thingy here. Sorry, guys. All right, we have a recommended action here. Do you want me to read it? Okay. Staff requests the Public Works Committee recommend the City Council approve and authorize the mayor to sign the service provider agreement with PBS for the Percival Creek Fish, you're gonna make me say it again, Passage Barrier Removal Project Amendment 3. Do I have a motion?
I will set, you have a motion, I'll second that.
Okay. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 All right, thank you. Thank you for the reminder, Dan. So. All right, now we will move on to our next item for the I-5 closure.
So good morning, council members. So I'm going to present today. I wanted to talk today about the I-5 Trosper Road reconfiguration project, and specifically about to address potential road closures during the construction of the project. And I'm sure you're all familiar with the project by this point. I'll give just a really quick overview. The project is a construction of 3 roundabouts at the Trosper Road interchange, construction of new 6th Avenue from Lee Street to Trosper, and then also includes a extension from Capitol Boulevard down to Linda. The project's currently under construction. Construction started in January the 17th of this year. And the current phase of the project is installation of the sanitary sewer. Currently, they're moving down Capitol Boulevard at this time. So per the staff report, our request today is that we are recommending that the City Council authorize the Transportation Engineering Director to approve road closures for city streets as needed for construction of the project. And based on our coordination with the contractor recently completed their construction schedule. That's a 1.5 year schedule, so it took us a while to put that together. It's clear that in specific cases on this project, road closures will facilitate completion of the project when they are applied strategically during the project. So one thing about road closures, road closures are a very excellent tool in construction management, as long as they're used sparingly. They do enhance safety to the traveling public when they're used right, especially during complex utility installations, which is what we have going on for the next couple of months. They increase safety for the city staff and also for the construction workers in the work zones. And the biggest thing that they do is they allow us to maximize the workspace during construction, and that in turn increases production rates that the contractor can install underground piping and things like that. Also reduces project delays and also construction costs. For this request, we will only consider road closures that are where there is a significant need to do so, and if the road closure is fully vetted by both the Transportation Engineering Director and myself. All road closures will have an approved detour plan. They will have a specific length that's only for the time it takes to complete the construction task identified. And we'll also work through public notice to make sure that people know that the road closure is going to occur. The city follows RCW 4748010 for roadway closures, which generally states that road closures for significant significant restrictions associated with capital projects requires authorization from the city council. Due to the complexity of the project and the fast-paced nature of the work, our concern is that if a road closure is required on the project, the time to bring the road closure to Public Works Committee and then through council could be a significant length of time and could directly affect the actual ability for the contractor to finish their work. So that's really what our concern is on this. So in wrapping it up, by providing the Transportation Engineer Director the ability to move forward with needed roadway closures, this will greatly reduce the approval time needed and also assist both the city staff and the contractor to maintain the project schedule throughout the project. So I'm sure you might have a few questions on this, so I can answer questions if you have them.
Okay. All right. Councilmember Schneider.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. So I know we have business cards around that has a QR code in regards to the construction and development of that area. If the public goes on that, will there be a timeline on the project and the updated closures on that as well?
That would absolutely, that would be the intent. We set those cards up. It was a great idea from Ann and Marnie to set those up so that people could access information, and absolutely that's where that would be shown. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Councilmember Althauser? No? It's been interesting to see the work so far. So that is quite a significant piece that they're doing. So they're doing the utility piece right now in the middle. Is that what?
Yeah,
Okay.
they'll do. Yeah, the way that project's going to flow, it's probably going to be they'll install the sewer first, which they're working on right now, and then they'll probably move to the water. Then they'll move to the storm, and then they'll move to the underground utility trench. So it is quite a few months of underground work. That is the toughest part of the project, really. If we can get through the underground utility work, it won't be smooth sailing, but it'll be better sailing to get us to the end of the project. So
Okay.
Yeah, I just
Councilmember Althauser.
appreciate the public notice that we'll be doing to make sure that people are aware. Like, there's a lot of folks that don't have a very good other option. And so just making sure that the public is aware so they can plan their commutes accordingly. If they have to go south and then go across the freeway another way, or if they just need to avoid that area altogether, I think it's just important that we're super clear with the public so that those expectations are managed in advance.
yeah, I think we have a very good system set up right now. It's probably one of the best I've seen since I've been to the city. Hasn't been that long I've been here, but it's looks pretty good the way we have it set up. And we're also partnering with WashDOT as well. There are WashDOT ramp closures that WashDOT has approved for weekend closures for the ramps a couple of times throughout the project, so the contractor can finish the I-5 northbound ramps, and those are going to be posted on I-5's WashDOT's website as well.
And I like the piece too, where you talked about the specific length of time just to get that one task taken care of. That's so kind of chunking out the project in little. So I think that's my takeaway from you're talking about the different tasks that will be completed.
Yeah, yes, but normally road closures for long term do a really good job for certain projects, but really what the contractor is looking for is kind of short-term road closures to do specific things that would be really difficult to do if they had to still maintain traffic in those little segments of the road. So that's really, I think, what they're looking for.
Okay, good. All right, do we have any more questions for Bill? All right, we do have the recommended action that the city council authorize the transportation and engineering director to approve closure of city streets as needed for the construction of the I-5 Trosper Road Capitol Boulevard reconfiguration project. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Councilmember. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and we will see this probably on another, our consent calendar that's coming up. It'll be March 14th, I think, our next council meeting. Okay, all right. Well, thank you for all of that. I'm going back to the beginning of our agenda here. Do we have anything else to discuss here? Get back to the beginning. Any other comments? Oh, sorry, getting back to my agenda. It's not cooperating here. All right, without anything else further, then I will call the Thursday, February 23rd, 2023 Public Works Committee meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone, and be safe out on our snowy road.